Hello everybody. So I've got some music playing here and I'm getting out my stuff to start biscuit making. And I'm gonna wait a few minutes until a few of you start arriving here. And I'm very excited about this. I've got my oven heating up and maybe this is my way of, hello Caitlin, how are you? Hello Sale, hello everybody. So I hope everybody's got some beverage in hand because I'm about to pop a cork now that I have some friends here to enjoy with. Let's see, what are we doing today? Yum. I'm going to save that for tomorrow and I'm going to have this today. Here we go. Back on the bubbles, babies. Hello Dana, hello Jody. So guys, here's what I've got going here. We're going to start making biscuits. I have my contraband white lily flour. There is a difference between the flour that you buy south of the Mason-Dixon line and flour that you buy north of the Mason-Dixon line. So if you find that you have problem making southern biscuits up here up north, hello Oscar, and hello Dana, and hello Dana. We got the Danas in the town. So yes, if you try to buy flour up north and you find that your biscuits are not exactly what you want them to be, call your mama, your grandmama, your aunts, your uncles, go to Christmas and get some contraband brought up with you. So I have looked at a bunch of recipes. I think I told you all that I haven't made biscuits. I noticed today I had to go and buy new baking powder because my baking powder went tilt last year. In 2016, I had a big 0 birthday, and I made a lot of promises to myself, and among them was no more fake food. So I stopped putting Splenda and Sweet and Low and all that crap in my coffee. I figured half a teaspoon of sugar wasn't going to kill me. Who else is here? Hello, Lisa. Hello, Vishnal. And we got people coming. So one of the things that I had to give up was Crisco. So no more Crisco, and I'm going to try to see today if I can figure out how to make biscuits with butter. So I've looked at probably a dozen different recipes, and hello Jamie Baker, and so I've looked at a bunch of different recipes and they are not any different from each other. Maybe one says a scant teaspoon of sugar, one says a pinch of salt, one says a quarter teaspoon of salt. They're all basically the same thing. So let's see what we've got going here. I didn't even think about my butter this morning because I went to the store to buy European butter. I just have whatever they sold me at Trader Joe's the last time. And evidently the difference is that European butter is churned longer. Therefore, it has 2% more butter fat finished than American butter does. And, but I couldn't find any. You know, beggars can't be choosers these days. So we're going to do with what we've got. So let's see what I've got working here. Please let me have a piece in the refrigerator. Alas, I don't. Well, let's see. I guess Jamie would say that frozen butter is good. Jamie, can I do this with frozen butter? Or do I need to sit around for a while and warm this up between my hands? What do you think? Hey, Scriv. Hello, Annette. Hello, Chris. So I guess maybe the butter should have been a little more softened, but we'll find out. What's the worst that can happen? So I'm going to get a little whistle wetting, and we'll talk about the wetting of the whistle a little later after we get going on what we've got going here. So I'm going to cork this baby. I've had these stoppers since 1996. I love that. So anyway, here we go, boys and girls. This recipe calls for, and my screen is going dark. Here we go. We need 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 2. Let's see here. I've got a little bowl here to catch my overflow. And I'm going to take this. And this is a thing that we're going to sift. So I'm going to put this straight into the sifter. All these various little things that are going to go. Whoa. I've played with my flour too much and it's really packed. So I'm going to take this straight to the sifter. Yes, I have a very old-fashioned My mama's is just exactly like this, only it's enameled and has cherries on it. So here we've got 2 cups of flour. Perfect. And now I think I told you guys yesterday that my previous recipe for biscuits was this much flour, this much Crisco, and this much buttermilk. So even getting out these measuring things is a big, big step forward for me. So I'm going to try to catch what flour I have dumped out and save it because this is precious stuff, right? And I do have some strawberries down here straining because we're going to make a little, I'm going to make some of them savory and some of them sweet so that we can have like a little dessert out of one of them, out of a couple of them, and ham and biscuits in the other one. Is the music too loud? Yes or no? Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Christopher. Hello, Sean Slusha. How are you, darling? So far I've gotten my 2 cups in here, and it calls for 2 tablespoons of baking powder. So I'm going to get those going. Give this a little wipe. Who knows how long it's been since I've used this. And let's go here. Da-da-da. I did wash my hands thoroughly, just so you, in case you're concerned for my hand using. There we go. That's 2, and then I think it also calls for a scant tablespoon of sugar. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to give this a wipe out, and I don't know what. Let a little of it fall out. Oh, pop that in there. And is that all my dry goods? Oh, a teaspoon of salt. Here we come. And I think I can eyeball this. Let's see. Let's do this the Rachel way. That's a teaspoon in my world. And I don't know why this little boy wants to give me a hard time. So now we're going to come right here and give her a sift. Make it nice and sweet. I have my oven heated to 400 degrees. I have Anita O'Day playing in the background. If you've never seen her, you should go and see. There's a great on YouTube, Newport Jazz. She's in a black and white dress and a big glamorous hat. She sings like a queen. She's just off the chain and off the charts. Okay, so I've got little bits of pieces that I think I'm going to have to push on through here. Give it a little help. There we go. Go on down in there. Let's see. That's either sugar or salt. I'm not sure which. So I'm going to dump that in there. We need it. And then, let's see, what's next? Next, we're going to have to manhandle 5 tablespoons of butter that is just as hard as it can be. So, let's see. Maybe what we'll do is while the butter is softening up a little bit for me, because I don't think I can do anything with that. I really didn't think ahead, did I? So anyway, let's take a little bit and we'll wipe this up here, what I've done. And I'm going to go and Kathy Lever, I'm going to get Mama's bowl here and give it a wipe out. And we're going to pop these strawberries in. I'm going to set this butter just a little closer to where the exhaust is coming. And I'm going to trim these little guys up real fast. Let's see if I can find a little knife. There we go. And I'm just going to cut them into maybe quarters and pop them in the bowl. We're going to throw some sugar on here and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. I think that'll be a great little topping. And then throw maybe some vanilla ice cream or make a little whipped cream if you'd like. And that would be, I think, a great little dessert after you've made biscuits today. And this is a giant one, so we'll cut it another time. And it is literally 400 degrees in this kitchen, so I think that maybe we might have to open windows and prop a few things up in a second. But give me just a second to finish what I've got going here. Excellent. 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 Anybody new out there? I'll come give you a shout out in 2 seconds. And there we go. Strawberry tops. Excuse me while I'm burning up. Ah, thank goodness. So I'm going to take a little sugar here and give these strawberries a little topper here. And just a little bit of sugar there. And kind of toss them around a little bit. And that sugar will start to pull a little, make them all juicy and delicious. I do have this little bit of... Excellent. So I don't think we're going to need that again. And give that a little wipey wipe. So thinking ahead to tomorrow, those of you who were here yesterday, I made, among other things, a garlic, say, oh, you're very sweet, thank you. Let's see. Oh, Jamie, a loud noise. Okay, Jamie, what do you want to say? Hello, I'm glad, Cassandra Wilson, hello, Karen. Oh, great it, Jamie, brilliant. I love you, thank you. I knew you'd have the answer. Let's get the butter going. Let me see if I have to see better. So this calls for 5 tablespoons of butter to our 2 cups of flour. We're later going to add a cup of milk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it. I'm strong enough. I am. And you knew it wasn't going to be a real day if I didn't get my microplane out, did you? Now I'm not going to do this straight into this because that could be a nightmare. Let's see here. This seems better. This seems like a better plan to me. So who else is here? Let me see. Hello, guys. Thank you, Jamie, for the grading. I wouldn't have thought about it without you. That's why you're here. Jamie Baker, for those of you who don't know, is my cooking guru. I cook with him and Vicki Laurelard more than any 2 people in this world. So thank you for being here today. So butter being grated. Baby, I'm gonna get, I don't have to really work out because I'm getting my grading exercise every day. Almost, here we go. I'll have to teach them how, I don't know how to, if anybody can tell me if there's a way to turn my phone off. I went yesterday into settings and I couldn't find a way to just turn the phone off. I guess that's why they call it iPhone, right? If I had a better iPad, I would do it on my iPad. Hello, Kevin, but the camera is so much better on my iPhone, I have to do this. So this is coming along. It's slower than I had hoped, but there you go. Maybe by the time I get down to the last inch, it'll be warm enough that I can just cut it into pops and whew, here we go. A little bit more. Maybe I need a larger scale grater. That would maybe be easier, right? I don't have a regular box grater. I think it died or got lost during the renovations the last time. So here we go, a little bit more in here. We're down to the last third, I think, of this. Did you guys really come to watch me grate butter? I really should have done this beforehand. I apologize. You're all very kind. Let's see. Yes, a grater. Yes, it is a microplane because I don't have a proper one. I am sorry. But hey, this butter's getting soft enough here in my hand that I think I'll be able to put it in tiny cubes and add it to. So, thank you all for your patience. Thank you, thank you. Let me get this off of the back of the microplane. Clearly, we know what I need for Christmas. A proper box grater. As soon as they reopen at Bed Bath & Beyond, I'll be right there. So now I'm just going to take this last little bit that's gotten hot from my hand. I'm going to cut it into some little tiny pieces. It's still kind of hard, but I think I'll be okay. Ah. Well, when they ask for cold butter, I'm going to meet their requests, aren't I? Here we go. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Thank goodness the music is cheery. Here we go. And now let's just do it. So I've gotten all of this butter now in here, and we're going to clean my hands real fast. Thank you, guys. You know, I haven't even had time to drink, but I do have a little Cremant de Loire in my glass. Muy delicioso. I believe it's 100% Cabernet Franc. Muy delicioso. So now, this is my favorite, maybe my favorite kitchen tool that doesn't plug in. I've had it forever. I even make mashed potatoes with it. So now we're just gonna, you know, work this through and see if we can get the butter in here. And it's working like a charm. Here we go. Oh my gosh, this is lovely. I have no problems here. Excellent. This is combining beautifully, right? It's getting a little crumbly in here. And I think, just want to make sure I get those couple of big hunks of butter. Make sure I get them knocked in really well. That looks pretty good to me. So I read a lot today, people talking about not wanting to overwork these things. So that's always been my way of doing. I try to handle things very, very little. If something that needs to rise, I will just let them rise 2 or 3 times rather than work them quite as much. It was just a little bit of a bigger piece of butter. I'd like to break up a little bit more in here. And then this calls for 1 cup of milk. So just come on, baby. Okay, and a cup of milk. Let's see here. I use this big one. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in here a little bit at a time and around and around. And what am I going to stir this with? Let's get a bigger fork. I'm going to work this in. I know a lot of you are probably KitchenAid stand mixer people, but I also read and about every 3rd recipe said you can do that, but there's no real good reason to. So that tends to overwork. So I'm just going to try to, like I said, keep it just as simple and as easy as I can. So now this is good and moist. It might have been a tiny bit too much milk, but hey, we're checking the recipe, see if this is the one to use, right? Okay, let's put this away and put this away and all of these mucky things away. We'll work on that later. And so I'm going to stop and roll my sleeves up so that I don't muck up my Saturday shirt. So what's going on over here? Hello, Elizabeth Barkus. And you know what? Kathy, hello, Thomas. I almost bought buttermilk, but then I thought, oh my gosh, if I buy buttermilk, then I'm going to have to use all this buttermilk in the next week. And I couldn't think of enough things to want to make buttermilk with, except maybe a brine. And that makes me think that I just got off track a few minutes ago. So I'm going to set the strawberries over here, and let me see if this is dry. Excellent. And I'm going to use that little bit of flour here that I saved a few minutes ago. I'm going to lay this out because this is a nice wet, but look, it's already changing. I can see it changing. It's stiffening up. I'm going to get rid of my ring, and let's just grab, oh yeah, wow, guys. This baking powder is working in this really, wow. Okay, so now I've got a nice wet ball, and I'm just going to lay that right down there. Okay, here we go. Now, wow, still very wet. Let's see what we can get going here. And now, oh, that's a great, this is looking good. I'm still a little sticky. Let's see here. should have probably floured my hands too. I'm gonna rinse them off. Hello, Debbie. And I'm not sure how to see. Next time I can make buttermilk by adding a little vinegar to my milk and letting it set. That's exactly right. But do I need a specific kind of vinegar, Jamie, or does any vinegar, any colorless vinegar work? Can I use white balsamic? Would that work just as well? I don't know. All right, so now my hands are dry and clean. And now I'm gonna flour them. Excellent. Perfect. Now my hands are floured and I can start to work with this. There we go. Now, wow, this is really interesting dough. This is not like my Crisco dough, that's for sure. And it's sticking to my hands because it's, I'm gonna say for this recipe, you probably should have used, we should have used 3/4 of a cup of milk. And I read several recipes that had the same proportions except with 3/4 of a cup of milk. So, yeah, there we go. So now this is starting to get into a nice ball that I can work with. And I'm just gonna work it in together. That little extra 1/4 cup of flour that I put here on the thing seems to have really done a world of good. So now I've got a nice little bit right here. Perfect. Now I'm going to rinse this off my hands. Yeah, I think it is a little bit too much milk and oh, there we go. Now, get these hands cleaned off a little bit. So then I can go and get one of my absolute most prized possessions in the whole wide world. This was my great grandmother Allstott's rolling pin. She gave it to my grandmother Cooper on the day that she married my grandfather and said, if Dick Cooper ever gives you any trouble, you lay him upside the head with this rolling pin. And for years, when I first lived alone in New York, it sat where I could grab it. It was kind of like the baseball bat behind the door. So, since this has been sticky, I'm just going to flour my rolling pin a little bit. And then I'm going to give this just a little roll. And I want them to be kind of thick because I'm going to make them small. And I don't have but what I call my catering biscuit cutter. Well, hellfire and damnation. Pardon me a minute. I need some more flour on my hands. And here we are. So I've rolled this out. I don't know how many biscuits this is supposed to make, but I'm going to say that this would be just about the right amount to make biscuits for, a family of 4 if you were going to have sausage biscuits or something. So I've rolled this out just a little bit. Again, I don't want to overwork it. And I have my little personal size. This is what I've bought at Cake and Bake probably 15 years ago to make my little yeast biscuits that I make for Derby. But when Gregory and I were doing Derby parties, we would have sometimes 70 people, and I would make 9 by 13 pans with probably 50, 70 each in those. So these little guys are great for personal size. And I guess I should probably grease the bottom of this skillet that I'm going to bake them in, because all of my jelly roll pans are too disgusting to put anything on. So I'm just going to bake them in here. I've not preheated it because I figure we don't want them preheated because everything needs to come up at the same time. I'm going to put about 1 inch between them. And I think I said I'm going to do some of them savory, and I'm going to dip some into sugar for my strawberries, the ones I put on strawberries. These little guys will be perfect for more. I need more flour. So anyway, I hope that these little guys will come out beautifully, and we'll be able to see how they turn out in the next few minutes. That's what part of the reason I'm making a little one, so I think that they'll bake up in just a few minutes. Hello, Cal. And yes, I love this skillet. This is not an antique. I do have my grandmother Coopers, who was grandmother Corb by the end, for those of you who might have known her. I have her little flapjack pan, and it is absolutely, I love it. I use it for so much stuff. All right, so I'm just going to put these first 2, 4, 6, 10 biscuits. Bada bang, right here, little small guys. I'm going to put them in the oven. Yikes. And I wish I could set a timer. Hey, can somebody set me a timer? All of my things are being used. Hello, Lauren. If somebody could set me a timer for 5 minutes, I'd really appreciate. Jamie. And, let's see. Sale, are you saying that my rolling pin has stories? Well, of course my rolling pin has stories. Where else do you think, how else do you think you'd have a rolling pin, right? They got to be handed down, or it didn't really happen, I think. So I'm just making a little mess here for a minute. Sorry, while I kind of straighten things up so that I can move on to the next round. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll even use that cute little pan and let it be. Where is it? Can I get there? It's running a gauntlet here, guys. I really need somebody to come and be my helper person. It'd be so handy. Anybody been in quarantine long enough that you can come and be my buddy and hang out with me and hand me stuff from the other room? That would be really awesome. So now I've got this, so let's just go ahead and finish this up. I'm going to get a little bit more flour going here. There we go. Get that cleaned out and get me a little flour here just so I can maybe do this a little faster this time. Let's put it in this little guy. That'll be even easier. And then give it a, now I think if we do this, it'll go so much faster. There we go. It's like I've learned something new today. So here we go. Get these little guys right on here. And I'm gonna give them a little scatter of sugar because these are gonna be my dessert biscuits to go with our soon-to-be balsamic strawberries. And all I'm gonna do, I put a tablespoon or 2 of sugar on them. And I'm going to put a little tablespoon or 2 of balsamic vinegar on them. I'll let them sit all afternoon. And then a little scoop of ice cream. Split these babies. They'll be delicious. And I might have to maybe make a topping for some kind of a little something. I'm gonna have just enough that maybe I could make a little biscuit crust to go on top of some kind of a little meat pie. Wouldn't that be good? Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so I'm going to take a little sugar here that I've set aside. I'm just going to put a little sprinkle on the top of each one of these babies so that it can come in. And then you have more of like, I guess, like a little mini scone here for this. I'm sure that there's going to be a terrible mess with all the sugar and the butter on the bottom of this pan. But it's going to be okay. So what do I have to do besides scrub pots and pans all afternoon? So things you may not know about me, I haven't had a dishwasher in over 25 years. So those people who complain about washing dishes, have I got one on you. So I'm going to set these aside. My lamp has fallen over, so there we go. Let's put that back in place. It's not going to stay. Now it's going to stay. Perfect. So now that we've got those in the oven, and hello Tim, and hello Gracie, and hello Brad. So what we're going to do now, I think, is take just a few seconds and talk about what's in the glass. So I told you guys, mentioned yesterday, that I have been thinking about for some time starting a little online thing called the Cremant Project, because I love Cremant more than anything. If I had been born a princess, I would drink champagne every day. For years, it started when on my birthday, falls the week leading up to Christmas, I would drink champagne on my birthday every day, every year, every day. And then it became an everyday problem. So let's pull this out of the fridge and see what we've got going today. This is, and it must be a fruit day. Anybody's got their biodynamic tasting calendar open, take a look. I'm sure it's a fruit day. This is delicious. Everything is perfect. And if you don't know what I mean by a fruit day, There are enough people from Lincoln County on here that we remember the Farmer's Almanac and learning how to plant and harvest by the signs. Well, biodynamism is the fancy way of saying planting and harvesting by the signs. And so when we look at that calendar, there are root days and fruit days. And then, so this is obviously either a fruit or a flower day. Anybody open the calendar to see? Team Vermont, yeah. So anyway, this is obviously a good day to drink. Hooray. So what I have here is a Cremant de Loire. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm afraid that the horn section is going to outdo even me today. Let's give them a knock down. One more. There we go. So this is a Cremant de Loire. So that means that this wine is made in the same method as Champagne, only outside the Champagne region, and in this case, the Loire Valley. The Loire Valley, for any of you who've been to France, is just straight south of Paris. When you go to Versailles, that river, now you know what the Loire is. So Cremant de Loire in the Loire Valley, the most important grapes are, for whites, are Sauvignon Blanc and Chenin Blanc, and for reds, Pinot Noir and Cabernet Franc. And so this is Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Franc is the most, I think, undersung grape out there. It screams, it loves food, it's not heavy, it's acidic, it's gamey and animal-y and fruity and delicious. For me, I always, when I think of Cabernet Franc, I always think about when Alexa and Scriv, who were on here earlier, were little bitty. We were at their grandmother's farm, and we ran across these raspberry bushes, and they were just teeming with ants. And so we picked a raspberry. Of course, the only thing to do is just kind of blow away the ants as best you can and suck the raspberry in and hope you don't get too many ants. Cabernet Franc always tastes like ants and raspberries to me. So I love it. Oh man, once you get started, I'll put the link down for this. My little biscuits are rising and looking good. So there's that. And I'll also tell you a little something more about great things that I'm in the fridge. I'll be right back. Let's see, here we go. Oops, sorry for the noise. I'm moving too quickly to be quiet. This is what inspired this. I was going to wait until I got Mom and Dad's sausage, but then I found this mystery package of Broadbent's ham. Broadbents are down by Land Between the Lakes, if you don't know where they are. And for me, it is the best ham that you can get now that my grandfather has passed and doesn't make hams for me anymore. For years, my grandfather sent me a family cured ham here for my derby party, and it was absolutely off the chain delicious. But boy, it's a lot of work to boil and bone and bake a ham. So thank you, Papa, for all your hard work, but this is a lot easier. And they would love your business. It is really warm in here, but I'm trying to keep it together. So this nice salty ham, and you can, I buy these in the pre-sliced packages, and I think you get 4 of them to the order. You can, if you have the need and a ham slicer and all of that, you can order 2, 3, or 4-year-old hams. It's really amazing. So if you don't know, Broadbent's Country Hams, Google that. You can be a new customer of theirs and they will appreciate it. They're so nice. So let's see how the biscuits are looking. Oh my, how are we looking? Oh, they're looking good. But I am going to say, Jamie's not going to be happy about this because Jamie wants a biscuit that will stand up with really straight sides. And these have kind of, and maybe it's a too much milk problem. Maybe if they were a little stiffer, they would stand up a little better. But they are looking good. Let's see. According to the almanac, today is a good day. Cut firewood, mow to increase growth, dig holes, host a party, travel for what? Hang on, I have to touch this to see what more. What more can I see? I love it. I can't get there. Hello, Mrs. Candler. How are you? And so I'm going to take this little extra bit of dough that I have here, And I'm going to find something to do with it in the next day or so. Whether it means making a meat pie and covering it over with that. Something like that would be a good thing to do with that. And let's see. We've got to wait until we see. Oh, Kathy bought a Penn's ham. So Kelly says, what is the bubbles? The bubbles is Bon Ami. And again, this is another one of those that I'm pretty sure is a direct import. And so you can only get it probably at one place, at least that I know of, one place. We could probably get onto Wine Searcher and find somebody else that's got it someplace. But I'm going to try to start branching out to things that maybe more of you all could get if you really needed it. Just making sure I'm not smelling anything burning. So let's see. Have a little priest. I don't know what that means. Do I need a little priest, Jamie? So anyway, this is delicious, and something needs to come out of the oven, I think. Let's see. No, not just yet. Not just yet. They still need a few seconds to brown up on the top, but I think they're going to be good. So, thoughts, feelings? Let's see. Kelly is having cremant de mou. So, cremant de mou is from the south of France. So if you can imagine France, and here's where the Pyrenees are going over into Spain. We're kind of in this part, south of Bordeaux and west of the Rhone. This is where ostensibly they first figured out how to make sparkling wines. Blanquette de Limoux is arguably the first sparkling wine that was made and captured, right? Oh, we never put any, hang on just a second. Oops. Let's don't take that out with us. So I'm going to get a little balsamic vinegar out. And now that my strawberries are starting to get a little juicy down in there, I'm just going to add to this just a little drizzle, just enough to kind of put a little bit on to touch all of those strawberries so that they're all impacted by that delicious vinegar. And then we'll put this back away. And I swear I want those biscuits to be done any minute now. And they're close. So let's see. Hello, Diana, and hello, Jim. So let's see. So tomorrow, thinking ahead to tomorrow. I started and I got distracted. So when I made the garlic lime dressing yesterday, I put a little teaspoon of that along with the yellow pepper dressing I made on a salad last night, and it was off the chain. But then this morning I realized that puree that I made is basically engagement chicken. Anybody know what engagement chicken is? I think I said earlier, the current Mrs. Howard Stern swears that she couldn't get him to talk about marriage at all until she made this engagement chicken. And it's basically lemon and thyme and garlic and all kinds of stuff. So I thought, why not take this puree that I made yesterday and make myself a beautiful chicken. So that's going to go in and marinate tonight, overnight. And we'll pop that in and roast that tomorrow and pull that out and maybe make some sides. I'll see what's in the vegetable drawer. Maybe we'll do one of my favorite things and use my pastry blender to make mashed potatoes. Everything in a 45 square foot kitchen has to have double, triple, quadruple use, right? Now I know they say a watched pot and all that, but I've just got to see what my biscuits look like. Oh, they're on the upturn. They're about to turn brown any second now. So like 2 minutes. Anybody know how long that's been since I put them in? Is it 10 minutes? So let's see. Where is everybody? Okay. Ina Garden recommends. Oh, I don't know. My old Kentucky home. Maybe I should save my old Kentucky home for Derby Day when we'll all be really sad that Saturday because we're all still going to be inside. So I read something really fantastic this morning, and it was talking about how people reacted to the plague, the last big batch of plague in the 1300s. There was a town in Germany who was sure that people were dying because the Jews were poisoning their water. So they banned Jews for 200 years. And then there were places where people banded together. And in Damascus, evidently, the Christians and the Muslims and everyone went, and the Jews all went marching in the streets together as a show of solidarity. And evidently, the Damascenes were the most successful in overcoming the Black Plague in the 1300s. And so it's a really great story to think about how that those who are being outliers and saying, I want to do this on my own and I can do it my own way, are maybe making this worse. And the better we can do, the best we can do is to all come together and do our part. So I will say this 100 times, stay inside, stay safe. It's the only way to save yourselves and to save all the people you love. Because, I'm just going to say it, I don't think that you can be worried about your pocketbook right now and still call yourself a decent person. I know we're all worried about getting through this and not losing our homes and having enough to eat. But if you're really more worried about your pocketbook than the people in your community, you need to rethink what's going on in here and what's going on in here. So let's all come together and do our best to be supportive of each other. I promise you, if we all band together, we'll all do okay, right? Everybody will be fine as long as we all work together. And if these biscuits aren't done, I'm going to be really upset. Oh, Lordy be. All right. So they are nice and brown. They're small and flat, but let's see how they taste. They didn't stick. There's that. And I'm going to stick this one, my sweetsies, in. And I'm going to say that this looks like it's going to be a flavor success, but it was not the kind of rising success. Maybe if I had let it sit for a little while before I went in, like let the dough let it rest, I think it probably would have been better. Anybody have a strong feeling? I've got 2 high-quality bakers out there among my viewers who could tell me if they think that that's a reasonable assumption. But really, I do. I really think that this dough would have done much better resting, or again with less liquid. So I'm going to take this biscuit, this buttery little thing. Woohoo! The flour I bought at Christmas time. I can't tell you how long it had been on the shelf at the Kroger. Well, I don't know if it had been at the Kroger longer than a few days, Jamie. Okay. Delicious, crunchy. But yeah. We would want them to be a little thicker, but they sure are good. They're delicious. Tom Gallagher, if you want a ham biscuit, come get one. He lives right down the hall. So my baking friend Kelly says new flour. So really my 3-month-old flour is old flour? Good grief. How do people go through flour in 3 months? I couldn't go through a pound of flour in 3 months with my life dependent on it. I mean, I'd have to have a cooking show to get through that much. So anyway, boys and girls, I put the others in. They're really delicious, but this is my takeaway. I will say though that I like them better than my Crisco biscuits. Do I make my own jams or preserves? I don't have to because my mama does. My mother makes. My dad Brent comes in every summer with a 5-gallon bucket of wild grapes and a 5-gallon bucket of wild blackberries, and mama makes jams and jellies. But if I really had to, push comes to shove, I guess I could figure it out, right? So yeah, let's see. I used Crisco because I did not use Crisco. This is my first time ever not using Crisco, Kelly. And let's see. And Elizabeth says she hasn't made biscuits in forever. Now she wants to make some. You know what? There you go. So anyway, I think that this is good. I think these little strawberries are going to be good when I get these other little guys out. A little scoop of ice cream. That'll be delicious today. So I'm going to say to you guys, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you do something fun, something delicious. Anybody been watching this Tiger King thing? I'm very disturbed by the lack of dental care of the people who are the characters here. And I'm doubly disturbed by the fact that I'm pretty sure that I have been seated at a table next to that Doc Adlin guy in Murrells Inlet. So it all creeps me out. I'm not sure if I'm going to get through it or not. So if anybody has any thoughts or feelings, let me know. I'm going to I'll post this wine here in the next few minutes when I get this all up, so that you guys you New Yorkers, can call Bottle Rocket and have this delivered to your home. They'll be happy for it. And muy delicioso. Tiger King is nuts, yes. Let's see, if the biscuits touch the pan, if we pack them more tightly. Oh, that's a great idea. True. I like that. We'll try that too. And I'm going to be interested to see, like I said, I do a yeast biscuit. That's what I always use at Derby. I'd have to take a lot more stuff, get a lot more stuff cooked out of my kitchen, and like do it the day before I go grocery shopping, because you have to put like this big silver bowl that I've been making, and has to go into the fridge overnight, and then you still want to let them rise up, and let that do a couple of times, both in the bowl and once you cut them out and put them in the pan. So that's a big production, but this has been flavor-wise delicious enough that I'll be very interested to maybe next weekend we'll try out and do my yeast biscuits, and those are really something special. So we call them angel biscuits. Everybody probably has. Hello, Meredith. How are you? And yes, you and Chris would be amazing if you did a little cooking show, because you guys are really good, and you have the patience to do big stuff. So I think you guys would be fantastic, and I would certainly turn all of my people onto you. Hello, Lori. How are the horses? And let's see. Yes, I think you do. You know what, though, Tim? I feel like we know somebody who looks just like that guy. Don't we? I'm just thinking. So if anybody has anything that they think I should watch that I'm not watching, let me know. And because I think I'm going to call her quits for today, and I'm going to pour a glass of wine. I'm going to go sit on my little settee right in front of the TV, and I'm just going to veg out. I haven't really watched anything except an episode and a half of that all week. What else did I watch? Did I watch anything else? Really, it's been terrible. So let's see. Sarah, hello. Muggsy, hello. You guys, this has been so great, and I thank you for your help, because Jamie, if you hadn't been here, I'd still be standing here waiting for the butter to soften up enough. And if anybody wants to buy me a Christmas present, evidently box grater needs to go on the list. That's all. So you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. You guys give me purpose to my day. You give me something to do, and it really takes all morning long, pretty much, to get set up for this. And it's just been great. I can't thank you enough. I realized today that it's been 10 days today since I left my neighborhood on foot. I did yesterday. I got in a car and drove some wine to somebody in Brooklyn, where I called them and said, I'm in front of your house, go open the boot of my car, take the wine out, step carefully away. So other than my drive to Brooklyn and back yesterday, it's been 10 days since I've been farther than the post office. And this makes me not feel like I'm alone. Now, I'm never lonely. I'm a Gen Xer. We've been trained all of our lives for this. But I did get up this morning and I watched an hour of Schoolhouse Rocks, and then I watched that until I turned the TV off to do this. I had Boris and Natasha, Moose and Squirrel, and Fractured Fairy Tales. So of all the things you can do, I think the big takeaway for me, at least today, is when you see all of the people who are coming together, who are giving their art away, people who are coming up with things to do, who are playing live. Or I got invited to a private group called Quarantine Karaoke. People are looking for ways to be creative, ways to connect with each other. And so, the things that we think we know about each other are not really true. People would not just sit around idly if we all got to stay at home every day. People are looking for ways to connect, ways to be meaningful. And I hope that for all of you, you're able to find your own way to be creative and your own way to connect. And that's all I guess I can say today. So go kick back, put on some soft pants and go have a great day, you guys. Let's see. I'm just going to real quick see if these little guys, you know what? I think that these are going to do better because they sat a little longer waiting to bake. So I'm gonna see. I'll get back to you. I'll post some pictures later if this starts getting better the longer it sits. Maybe it is a perfect recipe. It just needs to sit for a little while. I'll get back to you. Let's see. Love you guys. Have a great day. Thank you, Gracie. I sure will. You know, listen, I've lived here a long time and I have no visible scars. So hopefully it'll all be good. Mr. Dexheimer, I hope you got something drinking today. As soon as I fill my glass up, there'll be more Cremant de Loire. I love you guys. Have a great, great, great day. And I probably, let's see, you want to see what's going on outside? Look, absolutely nothing is going on outside. How about that? So people are taking this distancing thing seriously, finally. 100 feet up. So, side pan is too short. Anyway, ciao guys. Have a great rest of your day.